All right, yo, we ready, man?
Let's go. All right. Let's go.
So I just going to start here, man. EBTV Sports here with another radio call. A lot of stuff to talk about, man. Um, we're live actually, live and direct. So, you know, kind of want to mix it up instead of having released the video, just go live discussion. I already got somebody in here, so that's good to see that. So, let's get it popping, man. What you gonna talk about today, man?
All right, man, let's just get right into it, man. Let's just go. You know how we do, man. Your boy EBT Sports, your boy Couple of A1s in the building, man. Facts over fiction, facts over feelings. And we're gonna talk some good boxing, man. Go ahead and get your popcorn, your beer, relax, get your nice little beer and just, we'll listen to us talking boxing. You tell me? Now, this is what I'm gonna say, man. And we just gonna go ahead and get right into this, man. Let's not play no games on EBT.
Games.
Terrance Crawford, Sean Porter. Who's ducking who? And who will win that fight? Let me hear something, ET, man. I always take it first, man. I want to hear something, man. Give me hype right now.
Man, listen, man. Terrance Crawford versus Errol Spence, not Errol Spence, Terrance Crawford versus Sean Porter. I feel like, I know Sean Porter. I know he wants this fight. There's been talks inside, inside sources saying he wants this fight, but they tried to give him a $1 million contract, and he didn't like the money. He said, "quote Don't lowball me." So he wanted more money.
Oh, you think?
Yo,
Yeah, I said that is a low ball. Keep going, though.
oh yeah, and that's true. That's true. So I feel like he wants to fight, but I don't feel like he doesn't want to be lowball in terms of money. I don't know what Terrance Crawford's doing, man, because Terrance Crawford, what he make is, I mean, I don't know if he wants this fight at all. But one thing I do know is that Sean Porter wants this fight. I think he has a very great chance against Terrance Crawford. Um, like I said, it's right here from Bleacher Report. Sean Porter wants Terrance Crawford fight, and he says this: everybody's got to come through me. Those are big words. So,
No. Well, go ahead.
well, I mean, that's just an expression that he's supporting this fight. Um, and people, there are some claims that Bob Arum, he won't even change the offer. He hasn't been changing the offer, that $1 million offer. So that might be a reason why the fight's getting held up. But I if Sean Porter wants it, then it can definitely happen. We have to try to get this contract changed for it to happen. But right now, Terrence Crawford got to get in the ring, man. Like like I always say, man, I'm tired of this new era of boxing where you got to go through all the promotional stuff and then the venues, and it takes so long for people to fight. Back in the day, I wasn't even around, but I'm saying, early 1900s or even the 90s, late 1900s, people just wanted to get in there and fight. Fighters be fighting like a lot of times during the year, 5, 10 times a year. And now you see these big superstars, they fight maybe what, once, twice a year, twice at the most.
It's that shit.
It takes so long for people they got to go through all this contract stuff. And it's like, yeah, can y'all just get in the ring? You know what I'm saying? I know it's not that simple, but like, it really gets annoying to see this. We got to go through all the contract stuff and the venues and partnerships and all this stuff, and people want to change the money. It's like,
That's what it is, though. You see, these guys are scared to lose, man.
this is true. Yeah, nobody want to put the oil on the line.
I understand the politics of bullshit and all that shit, but people be scared to lose, man. I mean, Terrance Crawford, I feel like the biggest threat right now, other than Errol Spence, is Sean Porter. I'm not going to even say Keith Thurman, Manny Pacquiao. Sean Porter is a bigger threat than all of them. But keep going, though. I got a little say my little piece of that.
Yo, like I've been saying, it's definitely I think Crawford, I really haven't heard much about what he wants from the fight, but you know I know Sean Porter. He's expressed his interest. So we have to see. Yeah, like I said, this is another a quote. Is Porter says he will 100% face Crawford in 2021 if the money is right, and he said it'll be fight of the year candidate. He wants it, but he just wants the money involved. I don't even see nothing from Terrance Crawford. Uh, what he wants to do, but you know the money has to be right. That's all I gotta say, man.
I mean, I pretty much agree with everything you said 100%, man. Like, let's make these fights happen. I mean, first Terrance Crawford, he tried to say, me and Sean Porter, basically said they were friends and all this shit. Man, why people gotta understand this business, man? It's business, man. Forget trying to be everybody's friend and trying to be everybody's homie and all this shit, man. Like Terrance Crawford versus Sean Porter is a good fight. And you didn't even tell me you got to win the fight, but it's all
Oh,
good. We'll get
Sean.
to that.
Well, I would lean towards maybe even Sean Porter.
Yeah, man. I think that's safe to see. Let me tell you this, man. Terrance Crawford needs to face Sean Porter while he's still with Bob Arum, because one thing about Bob Arum, and I've said this shit on multiple occasions, and I'm sticking to my claim. Bob Arum is a guy that can get you. He can get you a bit. He can get you some luck on the scorecards, man. He can get you some luck on the scorecard. I'm telling you. We have to remember, Bob Arum. Bob Arum, listen, man. Bob Arum gave Timothy Bradley the first fight against Manny Pacquiao. If Timothy Bradley wasn't with Bob Arum, he would have never won that first fight against Manny Pacquiao. If Jeff Horn was doing business with Bob Arum, he would never won that first fight with Manny Pacquiao. So my point is, Bob Arum, he take care of his cash cows. And his biggest cash cow right now, the guy he's always, the guy say he lost a lot of money on, is Terrance Crawford. I don't know if he got Tyson Fury over there, but yeah, you can say Tyson Fury, but we're talking about the lower weights right now. So Terrance Crawford on the other hand, they offered. Oh no! Before I get to that, Terrance Crawford, like he got to understand, man. If he makes the fight when he's no longer with Bob Arum, I see Sean Porter winning that fight, man. Like hands down. And it's fucked up to say it, but I'm gonna say it. It's hands down. I'm gonna be on Terrance Crawford. But if Terrance Crawford could stay with Bob Arum, and I can see Terrance Crawford kind of like leaning toward, because Terrance Crawford, he's a guy like once you hit him on that chin, he wants to get his lick back, and he kind of starts to fight with
you. Yeah.
Terrance Crawford, you could kind of say he's a little undisciplined, because I just seen Terrance Crawford throw the game plan out the window and say, despite fuck it. And I like that grit. I like that dog in him, But at the same time, if he decides to just train with that dog in him, but at the same time, he got great conditioning, man. I remember Sean Porter told Keith Thurman, when Sean Porter was, he was well in Keith Thurman on those ropes, and he was really whipping Keith Thurman's ass on those ropes, man. And, when he had Thurman on the ropes, and I remember Sean Porter said he told Keith Thurman when he was doing that, I'm not gonna hope, like basically I hope you're not hoping. I hope you're not hoping that I get him, because all right, that's what he told Keith Thurman. So Sean Porter, he brings like down there too many tools for Terrance Crawford, man. And, I don't see Terrance Crawford stopping Sean Porter. It's possible, but I don't see that. I got Sean Porter, man. I'm rolling with Sean Porter, man.
Yeah, man. That's a big take, but I can see it, especially if you do what he did with Errol Spence, man. The big key would have to be Terrance Crawford would really have to stay on the outside. I mean, that's the biggest thing, because Sean Porter really knows how to get his way in there, and he'd be sneaking little hooks in there from time to time. He even had Arrow, questionable. Arrow was. I'm looking at the fight right now. Second round. Arrow was looking, wobbly. I mean, he's not the
Yeah,
best. He's not the best a boxer, but he can really get to Terrance Crawford, man.
I can still get Terrance Crawford too. Now let me say something about the Dutch shit. Um, I do feel like Terrance Crawford will fight um Sean Porter. I feel like Terrance Crawford. I feel like Terrance Crawford really he's just chasing the belts right now, and he feel like he don't have nothing to gain really fighting him. I think that's what it is. He feel like he
That's
don't have
true.
nothing.
He's actually
Yeah, you
said
know,
that before, though. That's actually he's actually said that before.
yeah, it's not in the game. But me personally, I feel like it's something to gain. You go in this fight, if you stop Sean Porter, that's a statement. If you go in this fight and you completely outclass Sean Porter have never been completely outclassed. Like some people may say that Kell Brooks fight, but I don't think he just completely outclassed Kell Brooks. I thought Kell Brooks won, of course, but I feel like Sean Porter it was like a good little 8-4 type of fight, 7-5 type of fight. In my opinion.
Well, let me say
Um,
this though.
go ahead.
It might even be a nightmare for Sean Porter because Terrence Crawford he has great real ring generalship. If you look at his fights, he controls the fights. He's a great striker, and he can stay on the outside. He controls his fights. He really doesn't get he does get pushed back sometimes, but he knows how to make the fight in the center. He's been doing this against Jeff Horn, and Jeff Horn's not really the aggressive type fighter.
Yeah, but I gotta object with that one because I don't think he could do that against Sean Porter because Sean Porter he just don't set his feet. Sean Porter has quick feet. Sean Porter he's just gonna be all up on him, bro. Like it's no way. Sean Porter is a guy's gonna make you fight. He ain't gonna Terrence Crawford all that. I'm gonna fight when I want to fight. Shit, that shit ain't gonna work with no damn Sean Porter.
And another thing is Sean Porter could get caught, man. That's one thing you got to consider. He could get caught.
He
Terrence
could get
Crawford is
caught.
a very slick. He got caught against Errol Spence. Now that I look at more of the tape and everything, it's very possible that he probably does beat Sean Porter, but it's not something you can just say. I mean, it's definitely a close fight because it depends on just how it goes. That's really all it depends on. This can Sean Porter knife his way inside, or can Crawford just control the ring like he loves to do against Errol Spence? I mean, or not against the fighters he's fought. I mean,
Right.
he has a he's good power. You saw what he did to Benavidez. He's great power, and he can control the ring. So he might even be tailor made for a guy like Sean Porter, or Sean Porter might be tailor made for him. He can really control the ring and has good power. Um, it depends on can um and Crawford lets his hands go too. He's not a very patient fighter at all. He lets his hands go. So that also might be bad for Sean Porter too.
Yeah, I see. We both make good. But I am not gonna lie though. I'm gonna keep it straight. I'm gonna keep it all the way in faith. But you know me, man. I got faith in Sean Porter chin, man. Sean Porter been hit, man, very hard, and he seems to have a chin, yo. And even when he gets hurt, he recovers fast.
That's true.
Sean Porter has his hell. Like if he ever get hurt, he recover. Like he got hurt versus Errol Spence. He just recovers fast. Like a lot of people underestimate that. But I got a good question. Now, I'm gonna go to a different segment for this question. Is Terrance Crawford the hardest hitting welterweight right now? That's a good question, man. Well, I think a lot of people underestimate Terrance Crawford power. Hold up. I know you got a rebuttal for that, EBT, but let me say this real quick. Terrance Crawford has stopped Kell Brook in the second round, fourth round. He stopped him quicker than Triple G. Now, I understand people will say, Kell Brook wasn't the same. Yeah, that's true, but Kell Brook was up for that fight. Kell Brook trained hard for that fight. Kell Brook really wanted to win that fight. And I have never seen nobody just hurt. Even when Kell Brook fought Errol Spence, he was getting hurt. Yeah, he hit the canvas, but Terrance Crawford had Kell Brook like damn near knocked out on his feet. Like I was kind of shocked by that knockout. And then you gotta think about this. Terrance Crawford stopped Jose Benavidez. Jose Benavidez, I always thought Jose Benavidez had a chin. And he just stopped Jose Benavidez. Jeff Horn got a chin. Jeff Horn he ate everything in the kitchen sink from Manny Pacquiao. Didn't get stopped. Didn't even go down. And
Sure.
look look who comes and just stopped him. Like it was nothing. Terrance Crawford. Felix Diaz, I think he stopped Felix Diaz too, if I'm not mistaken. But that's 140. We ain't gonna get to 140. Yo, man, Terrance Crawford, man, he might just have the most power in welterweight, man. What you think about that, man?
Now that you broke it down, it's really definitely a possibility. You got who do you have at welterweight? You got Errol Spence.
Yeah.
Who else? I'm trying to think of guys. Pacquiao is a welterweight right now.
Danny Garcia,
Keith Thurman.
Errol Spence, of course.
Yeah. Some people even talking about Mikey Garcia, but he's not even close to being that like empowered.
He hit hard though.
He does. He has a nice little crack, but he's not as close to Terrance Crawford. Virgil Ortiz Jr., Jerron Ennis, these are guys at welterweight.
Jerron Ennis got some real power too, man.
He does, but
I think Jerron Ennis got some growing to do. That's
yeah. You got Pacquiao. Yeah, it's literally the only competition Terrance Crawford has in terms of power is Errol Spence. That's literally the only competition he has.
Get to break that right there. I feel like this one right here is kind of hard to really contest because I feel like Errol Spence got a different type of power. Errol Spence got the type of power where it's like he just hit hard and he's just gonna be there in your face. He's like a stalker. He's like a stalker with his power. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like who got the better one punch, the one punch power. I gotta go with Terrance Crawford, man. Because think about it, man. What welterweight, what champion has what top fighter has Errol Spence stopped? And I mean, Kell Brook, you can say the Kell Brook point, but that was really Kell Brook really quit. I mean, Kell Brook didn't really look bothered by his power until like the end of the fight once his eyes started messing up. The other eyes started messing up. But that's what I'm saying. Errol Spence, he got heavy hands. Like that's if that makes any sense. I feel like the more explosive puncher is Terrance Crawford, man. Do you disagree with that or not?
Yeah, I have to say that's true. I mean, you're saying overall power. I think Errol Spence does have the best body shot in the welterweight division. But you talking about overall power, just straight up crack.
Yeah.
It might be Terrance Crawford. It really might be Terrance Crawford.
I mean, we could say Manny. We could probably say Manny because Manny he did sleep Ricky Hatton though. I mean,
no, that's Ricky Hatton. Mayweather slept Ricky Hatton, so I mean, that ain't really.
Yeah, but Ricky Hatton was more. Let me tell you the difference between that power though. Ricky Hatton did though. Mayweather was the first one to do it. We can't never take that away from Mayweather. But Mayweather more like broke him down, got Ricky Hatton tired.
He was going off on Ricky Hatton.
Huh?
He was going off on Ricky. I don't think Pacquiao can really even. I don't think he has good power, but he was getting.
But he did sleep with her, like in the second round. That's like nothing but power, and it was one punch sleep. Punch sleep is different though. Not everybody has that. While you can argue, Manny Pacquiao has wilder power in that left straight, man. Like not wilder power, but Like he can injure, he can end the fight with one punch. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but I mean, nah, I wouldn't put him over Terrance Crawford. I wouldn't do that though. I mean, I know you brought up the Ricky Hatton thing, but even still, even like I said, Mayweather, Ricky Hatton couldn't handle Mayweather's power. He wasn't eating Mayweather's power, Mayweather's shots. He was not doing that. So, I mean, I,
Nah, but he got stopped in the 8th round, wasn't it? Like it's pretty late.
I mean, no, he got dropped many times too. He got dropped. He got dropped by Mayweather. He
All in the
dominated.
same round.
Nah,
All in that same. Then Mayweather finisher, and Mayweather is a good finisher as well too. But I don't want to make this about Mayweather. I don't know. I think Manny Pacquiao has a chance. I mean, he dropped Keith Thurman. We ain't never seen nobody drop Keith Thurman like that.
yeah, I mean, yeah.
He got. I mean, I'm telling you that left straight. He might just have more power than Terrance Crawford. Shit, Manny Pacquiao probably the hardest hit in the welterweight division.
Nah, but I mean, I don't think Manny Pacquiao, like I said, he couldn't do it to Jeff Horn. What Terrence Crawford did to Jeff Horn.
Yeah.
That's one thing. So it's I think overall power, you can pick like a left or a right, but overall power, I would put Terrence Crawford over Manny Pacquiao. I mean, who would you rather take a punch from, Pacquiao or Crawford?
They both hit hard.
Oh, they do. I mean, you're gonna die either way, but it's just.
I wasn't get hit by Crawford because Crawford is like arguably a 154 pounder. So he gonna have a little more weight on his punches too. Pacquiao is like I just feel like Pacquiao hits very hard, man. You gotta think about it, man. Pacquiao put that first Marquez fight, the first person like Marquez always been known to have a chin. He put Marquez 3 times on the ground, almost stopped Marquez in that first round. That's why we respect Marquez so much. He literally almost stopped Marquez in the first round of that fight, man. That's real power. He literally almost stopped Mayweather Marquez in the first round. You gotta give him credit for that.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, he has power, really good power, but I don't think it's quite as good as Crawford's.
I mean, we will have to ask somebody like we have to ask Jeff Horn, right?
Yeah, he could tell you. I mean, you can see it too.
Yeah, you can see it too. Yeah, I'm being sarcastic when I said that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a good little segment though. We can go ahead and go to the next one.
For sure, man.
Make sure my video's recording though.
Like I said, if you got notifications, we are live right now, so.
Yep.
And it will save it right after it's done. But man, I titled it Friday Boxing Talk, so I like that. That's something we can do from now on, man. But
let's talk about I'm just throwing random stuff out there. Let's go ahead and talk about what we're gonna talk about. It's Lomachenko next fight. Let's go ahead and get Lomachenko a little love, man. Cause Lomachenko he got beat by. Hey, you picked him a little bit too.
Yep. I mean, I already knew that Lomachenko was the biggest hype job that I've seen in a while, and everybody bought. Well, I mean, a lot of people bought in the hype. It was just quite amazing. It was amazing.
That's the thing. I don't think Lomachenko hype job. Let's
Really?
go ahead and do this. I don't think Lomachenko hype job.
Oh my
Let's go
God.
ahead and do this. This will be a good debate. Lomachenko hype job.
Is Lomachenko a hype job? Let me tell you something about Lomachenko, and this goes across all sports. Okay, now I'm just gonna go ahead and say it: football, basketball, boxing goes across all sports. When the media gets somebody who's marketable, they can make you a superstar without you actually being a superstar. I'm gonna say it again: when the media gets somebody who's marketable, they can make somebody who look like a superstar who's really not even a superstar. Let me give you an example. Okay, and it usually you usually don't get. It usually comes from a certain. It usually happens as a result of a certain race of people that it gets done to, because you don't really see a lot of black athletes. This doesn't really happen for a lot of black athletes. Let me give you an example though. It's an NBA player. I know we're talking about boxing, but this ties into it. It's an NBA player named Domantas Sabonis. He played for the Pacers, and he's this guy from Europe. You know, he got an accent and everything. And he doesn't really have a lot of character to him. It's not something people really want to look at. But if you check this guy's stats, he's putting up 30 points, 13 rebounds a game. Like he's putting up good numbers, but he's not marketable. Now you get a guy like Luka Doncic in the NBA. He's a really good basketball player, but he's not doing the same. He's not even putting up the same numbers as Domantas Sabonis is right now. You know, and I'm not saying, you know, I don't know what Domantas Sabonis. I don't know his. Yeah, I don't know what Domantas Sabonis is his average is, but there are a lot of games in the season where he puts up like 30 points, 13 rebounds, and all that stuff. He puts up really good numbers, better than Luka Doncic, I think. So, like I said, you get guys who are marketable. Now, Lomachenko is marketable. It's something about Lomachenko that just appeals to boxing fans of a certain group, and they can push him. So, who pushed him? ESPN. They saw Lomachenko. They said, "Wow, we can really market him." They pushed Lomachenko. They shoved Lomachenko. He's a new thing. Now, mind you, Lomachenko had 13, 12 professional fights before he fought Lopez. He had like 14, 13 fights. He had some. There was some, huh?
Yeah, he had 13 months, approximately. Not like 14.
Yeah. Stuff like that. And you got guys like Bob Arum, Max Kellerman, all these guys comparing him to, you know what? Only Muhammad Ali, Roberto Duran, Floyd Mayweather, people like that. With 14 fights, and he hadn't really fought anybody extremely dangerous. I mean, you know, he had solid opponents. I will give him that. But he hadn't really fought people like crazy opponents or anything like that, or opponents where it's like, ooh, who will win? You can argue Luke Campbell. That's basically it. And Linares. You can argue these two. But
what? PVB?
Well, like fighters that he's fought that, you know, but like fighters that he's fought that, you know, before the fight everybody was like, who's gonna win? You know, it can go either way. Like, huh?
It's not many of those fights he's been in besides the deal from Lopez.
Right, and you see most of those fights. Okay, and you go back to his record too. The L to Orlando Salido, everybody brushed over that, and still was pushing him as the next big thing.
I'm not gonna even lie, man. That's something we can't get over, Lomachenko. Lomachenko, you gonna have to live with that.
Yeah, you're supposed to be the greatest fighter since Ali, Duran, and you losing to Orlando Salido.
Hey, but boxers have those. I mean, that's a terrible loss. And it's not like Salido was young, none of that. Salido was old.
And let me tell you this. I didn't mean to cut you off.
What? No, it's still your take. My bad, I'm cutting you off.
Oh no, you good, man. Listen. You go on ESPN right now, or you go on the ESPN fight, and you look at where they aired that time, and I was one of those fights, and they aired Lomachenko, and they who would guess? They literally changed the man's record to 14-0. They literally took an L off of his record.
They showed it on ESPN.
They took the L off his record. That was no mistake. This thing goes. ESPN nobody don't just put something out of ESPN. That thing goes through channels. You don't just get to put nothing out. This ain't just releasing stuff. They saw that many times before they put that out, and they changed Lomachenko's record. So when you're supported by big sports analysts or big sports, companies and like that, they can market you, and they can put stuff that they know people would like. They'll they know you can get. They can draw a group of people out.
That's true. That's true. Because you got some people that don't even watch. They don't even watch nothing but ESPN.
Right, and
So
you can market to a group of people. Like and there are only certain people who they'll do it for. Mainly white athletes. I'm gonna say it. They never did that with Deontay Wilder or nobody like that. They're not gonna really do that with because they don't really appeal to a lot of groups of of people watching. So what that does is when you do stuff like that, you push him, and he doesn't fight crazy competition. Well, when he finally does get in the ring with somebody, and I've seen through the Lomachenko thing for a while. So I said, wow, he's fighting somebody bigger than him and a real young, talented prospect. Teofimo Lopez is going to win, and that you can hype, get the hype all you want to, but once you get in the ring, and nothing you can say, nothing that can save you once you get in the ring. So his true skill was showed. Now Lomachenko's a solid fighter. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Lomachenko's trash, but was he really the greatest thing since Muhammad Ali and Floyd Mayweather? I don't know. No, so I think he was a hype job.
no, I don't think Lomachenko's the hype guy. Let me go ahead and say that from the beginning. Um, but I do feel like he was bad. He was slightly overrated, especially with the comparisons to guys like Muhammad Ali, people before his era. He could beat Floyd Mayweather at 130 and all this shit. Um, that's something that I dislike because this is not. I'm not even generalizing here. I'm just speaking from a personal standpoint. I don't compare fighters to older fighters. Like all this Ali versus Deontay Wilder, man, it should have never happened. Let the I don't cross eras like that. So don't get twisted. I might play around with it sometimes. Ali, he could. You never know if Deontay Wilder land correctly on.
No, he does beat Wilder. I didn't mean to cut you off, but he does beat Wilder. But go ahead. I'm just gonna have to put that in there.
You just had to throw that in there.
Yeah, I had to throw that one in there, man.
You
But
know,
it's not so simple though at all.
no, you know what? We gonna say that for another section, man.
Yeah.
I think that it's an interesting topic, yo. At the same time, but I don't talk about those fights because it never happened.
Of course not. It can't happen. Yeah.
It can't happen. So it's like it's something to talk about. I like talking about fights that at least a possibility of it happening.
Yeah.
But what was I saying? Oh yeah, what was that? The whole
Loma hype job and all that stuff.
the low hype job situation. I don't like that. I went you on that one. I like how they compare him. He'll be respected, proven, legacy, shit, Hall of Famers. They were comparing him to Hall of Famers.
Yo, yeah. I'm just gonna add this and I'll be done. So they were even putting him in the Hall of Fame already. But go ahead.
Yeah, man. And don't get it twisted. I do feel like sometimes you could tell if a fighter is a Hall of Famer, not rocket science. But they were saying this about Lomachenko with 10 fights in and shit like this, man. And, I don't feel like Lomachenko is overhigh. I feel like Lomachenko is very skillful. He just went against a guy that could argue make 140 too big for him, and was skillful on the night. He was more skillful on the night, but I do feel like he did get outclassed completely. It was a close fight, and I'm surprised Loma didn't get stopped because I told myself if Loma loses this fight, it ain't gonna be like he got outboxed. It's gonna be he got stopped, and he played the shit in that fight, man. So I don't feel like Lomachenko is a hype job. I definitely feel like a hype job is like just saying like the dude is like damn they're trash, but they hype him up.
Okay. We can change it. Overrated.
I have to say slightly overrated. I can say that. I can say slightly, but see, y'all know, man. I don't do nothing but praise Lomachenko. I respect the skill. I even respect him. The top. He has a face like all trash fighters or whatever, but I do respect his wins. But at the same time, I will say Lomachenko, you could argue that he's overrated. I mean, you could definitely say that. I ain't gonna sit here and lie about it. You know.
I'm gonna give you a very funny thing. So you go in before you fought. It's the same thing with Lomachenko and it's the same thing when you get media hyped fighters like that. Their resume never backs the hype up. So you go with him, right? The way they were hyping Lomachenko up with 13 fights and 14 fights somewhere in there. If somebody was living under a rock, never heard of Lomachenko, brought and the man, you said, hey, this is fighter with 13 fights, already being compared to Ali, um, Floyd Mayweather, Roberto Duran. They already have him in Hall of Fame conversations. Now, if somebody was under a rock and they knew boxing, but they were under a rock and they came out, they said, "So what do you think this guy has accomplished?" That guy they probably would have said, "Well, I mean, he had to have beat, 4 future Hall of Famers, unified the division. I know he has to be like a crazy skilled fighter. He has to be undefeated. He ain't losing nobody named Orlando Salido. He and so if somebody was living on the rock, they would have thought he would have done some crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. But he hasn't. He has accomplishments. He probably one of the greatest amateur fighters ever. But to say, he knew he was a pro level fighter, just sitting there fighting 6,000 amateur fights. I know wasn't that many, but it's kind of like Devontae Smith in college. He's been playing college football for 8,000 years, and he finally won a Heisman this year. But he knew he was a pro level fighter fighting an amateur. But that's neither here or there. All I'm saying is the resume really never backed the hype up. It's never done that. So, and when you do that, when somebody hype based gets in there and they fight a really solid fighter, like I said, it's nothing to help you in the ring. It's just you and the fighter, 1-on-1. It's nothing to help you in the ring, and that's when your true skill comes out. So it got showed here, man. I knew Teofimo was gonna win because I was able to see past it, and you were too. Everybody was able to see past it. People who knew boxing was able to see past it. But
Definitely, I don't get twisted, man. I knew that. I ain't gonna lie. I had Lomachenko win that fight, but it was this whole.
I don't know how people. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know. I don't know how that. I don't know how people had him win the fight, man. I don't know how you had him.
Why I thought he could win the fight is because number one, as you was just saying, they were trying to make him the next biggest star and all this shit. So shit, all he needed to do was stay on his feet and win a few rounds. I kind of thought he could play a Canelo angle, shit.
Yeah, Canelo, you gotta kill Canelo. You can't even knock him out. You fight Canelo, you gotta kill him. You ain't no knocking him out, KO. You have to kill him because you ain't gonna win no decision.
You had to win every
round. Nah, that I don't think that's enough. Nah, Floyd basically did that, and they almost robbed him. He didn't win every round, but he won most of them. They almost robbed him.
Against Canelo, what round Canelo won?
Oh my God! But somebody had it as what did they have it? A draw?
No, that's Madeline Bateman. That's the same girl that had it.
Triple G. That's Robert Burr's wife.
She needs to go somewhere, man.
Yeah, she had Triple G.
Yeah, but shit, we 15 minutes in. Anyway, see, I'm gonna go to another segment.
Yeah.
You kind of went big on Lomachenko on that one.
Yeah, we still live, man.
No, we still live, man. I don't even care if we put it out like that. Shit.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be out. This is live and direct, so I don't have to post it. It'll just be live, and then it'll be here for people to watch it.
Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna talk about. I want to check on the next fight. No, we'll do it another time. I thought I talk about some. What's up with Deontay Wilder, man?
Yo, what we doing with Deontay Wilder, man?
Huh?
What we doing with Wilder?
Yeah, what are we doing with Deontay Wilder, man? Man, listen, man. You can say whatever the fuck you want to say about the bronze bomber, man. we all tune in fight, man. If you're a true boxer, man, you're gonna tune in for Deontay Wilder fight. And I don't know, man. I'm hearing that Deontay Wilder turned down money to fight Charles Martin. Now, unless Deontay Wilder has something else up his sleeve, I don't know what to say. I mean, the dude hasn't even announced his goddamn trainer yet, man. Like, how the hell you ain't announced your trainer and you supposed to be fighting? The last interview I seen from him, he said, he should be fighting early January, late January or early February. The dude hasn't even announced his new trainer yet, man. What's your thoughts on that, ABT, man? Him turning down the one Charles Martin, and we're gonna talk in a minute. Who Deontay Wilder should fight next, man?
He turned that. Turning down that Deontay Wilder needs just to get back in the ring. Okay, that's all it is.
Exactly.
Wilder needs to get back in the ring. He needs to get back and bounce back from the Fury, everything that happened from the Fury situation, everything. He need to clear his head, get back in the ring, and get a nice win. That's what he needs to be worried about right now. It's something in me that feels like he just might not even fight again. Because it's something like he's just going on the radar. He won't say anything. But
I was thinking.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I want to actually hear what you had to say. That's why.
No, I was thinking the same thing you was thinking. Like he might not fight again. Shit.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that, but the last interview I seen with Deontay Wilder, the Brian Custer interview, he said, and I quote Deontay Wilder, he said that he's not quitting boxing until he's 40 in his 40s. He said he's not going to stop boxing. He said he got another 6 more years of boxing. Deontay Wilder is 35 right now. He's no spring chicken. Now, I do feel like he took some punch in Jordan, but other than that, Deontay Wilder hasn't taken a whole lot of punishment in boxing. He doesn't have a whole bunch of mileage on him. And he started boxing late, so it's not like, he hasn't been in like a lot of wars and shit like that. I feel like Deontay Wilder could, do that long in boxing. I mean, you got guys like John Pascal, shit, even Joe Kazaki, David Hay. All these guys are past 35. They still look fast. I seen Speed. Some people think Speed just leaves when you're old. I seen Sugar Ray Leonard throwing some hands. He's still quick. Mike Tyson is still quick. So,
but where does the power go? Is the question. But go ahead.
Yeah, the power. But speed is power. So, I feel like I don't know, man. We'll just have to wait to see. I feel like Deontay Wilder can still be fast at that age, though. But back to your what you said, I just feel like that let me know, okay, this dude ain't gonna retire. We talking about, staying till he's 41 or 42 and then retiring. He's for sure not retired right now. Keep going to.
Well, listen, I have a inside sources. They sent me this last week, and so they sent me a chart of the odds on who Deontay Wilder will fight next. So they had, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 fighters on the list. Mike Tyson was one of them, but it seems like that they had a huge, basically the chart is saying that fight is close to impossible. It probably won't happen. They have Luis or Tyson versus Wilder.
Oh, so you said Mike Tyson or Tyson Fury?
Mike Tyson.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. They had Luis Ortiz on there. Not likely. But then they had
it's not a bad tune-up fight though. I ain't gonna lie.
But then you fight that's the fourth fight or the third one.
It's gonna be a third fight, but people are gonna ridicule Deontay taking that goddamn fight, regardless of it. They don't give a fuck if it's just a stay busy fight. That's an easy fight to make though, but I don't see that fight happening again.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and I don't think even Deontay Wilder might not want to do it again. To be honest with you, he might even come out this Fury loss. Luis Ortiz might be able to get a win.
He might be able to get Wilder to that third fighter.
Yeah, I mean, he might be able to sneak one in there, just catch Wilder. Kind of just right off straight off that Fury loss and the whole situation, you might be able to get one in there.
Yeah, and let me say this real quick. People have to understand that has happened in history. Like a lot of people think because you beat a fighter twice, you basically got their number. No, it's been history has shown fighters are lost, got their ass whipped twice, and came back in the third fight and won.
This is true. Do you have this guy Ajit Caballero?
That's not a bad fight. Caballero versus Wilder.
Yeah, and that's pretty likely. You got a Dillian White fight, Alexander Usyk fight. That's the third most likely fight.
But I don't think Wilder ready for Usyk just on his first fight back.
No.
I'm not gonna go that hard on Wilder like that. You know, he's been very inactive. Not only he's been very inactive, he just got his ass whipped by Tyson Fury. You know,
this is true. But the Andy Ruiz Jr. fight is the most likely, and I've heard rumors that it's being in contracts. It's in the contract, almost about to happen. But the Andy Ruiz Jr. fight is the most likely one. Go ahead.
I don't mind that fight, and let me tell you what. The Andy Ruiz Jr. fight, I feel like Deontay Wilder take that fight. That fight because Andy Ruiz haven't fought since I think December or January, somewhere around. They haven't fought in approximately the same amount of time. And not only that, they're both coming off a loss. Yes, Wilder's coming devastating loss, but
exactly what this says, man.
Huh?
That's exactly what this says. It says it makes a ton of sense because him and Wilder are coming off defeats to Fury and Joshua respectively, making Ruiz Jr. versus Wilder the winner takes on Joshua versus Fury. So that's a possibility. And bro, I just want to ask you. You remember about that Anthony Joshua and Wilder fight, man? You remember that used to be the fight, man.
Yeah, you ain't never brought it. It's still a good fight, though.
It's still a good fight, but that used to be like the top fight. That used to be the Errol Spence and Terrance Crawford of boxing.
That was over Terrance. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. Can you even say that? Yeah.
That fight right there with Wilder and Anthony Joshua defeated. That's all we need these fights to happen, man. Like Jamal Charlo, David defeated, man. They never know how long these guys will be defeated. Somebody else got to go. Man, it's still a good fight. They both don't like each other and shit, though. But I think Anthony Joshua still fight Deontay Wilder somewhere down the line. Deontay Wilder continues to win.
Yeah. That's like I said. Deontay Wilder, the biggest thing for him is get back in the ring and get a win, and kind of freshen up. Show that you're still here because what the media wants to get Deontay Wilder out of there. Best believe that. ESPN, everybody, they want to get Wilder out of there. They're trying to go in and end his career. So he needs to go in and show himself, show that he's still here. So,
I said it before, man. He needs a big win, yo. Deontay Wilder needs a big win over Andy Ruiz. Yes, he do need a tune-up fight before let's say Andy Ruiz. I think he needs to get a tune-up fight against a Kanaki, against a somebody of that caliber, Robert Halidius, somebody who's solid but not a blunt. Even Charles Martin. I was feeling a Charles Martin fight actually. A cool fight, dust the cobwebs off and all that shit. But I just feel like Deontay Wilder, he needs a big win. He's either over Joseph Parker, even fucking Dillian White, clown out Dillian White.
Which he can win that one.
Huh?
Which he will win that fight if he were to do it. And that was on the list too, as a very possible fight.
I like that fight, man.
Yeah.
That's a good fight because I got Dillian White losing against Rebecca. I got him get stopped by Rebecca again. So, but that fight is still a good fight. Like Dillian White can get stopped 5 more times, and that's still a good goddamn fight. But keep going with your little list. You named some pretty decent opponents, though.
Yeah. So yeah, I saw that one. Let me go back to it right here. So yeah, the Ruiz Jr. fight is the most likely, and I skipped over one. Yours truly, man. They have an Alexander Povetkin fight out here.
Alexander Povetkin?
Yeah. So these are the 10 or 8 names that they have. They have an Alexander Povetkin is just under a Dillian White fight in terms of likelihood. But he's gonna fight one of these names on the list. That's guaranteed. So
I love that fight between Alexander Povetkin. Especially if Alexander Povetkin beats Dylan White like I'm predicting. I love that fight.
And that's a good comeback fight for Wilder. That's a great comeback fight.
Yep.
A fight that he can win too.
Huh?
It's a fight that he can win, but it won't be too easy. So he can kind of show he's back.
It won't be easy at all. Povetkin is still a hard puncher. Former heavyweight champ. Povetkin, he fought everybody. He just stopped a top 5 heavyweight, Dillian White. He just drew with Hunter, even though I thought Hunter won the fight.
Hunter, bro, I was so mad about that fight, man.
Hunter won that fight.
Yeah, but Hunter started off so fast and he just stopped punching. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, he still won the fight though. He still won the fight.
Yeah. I mean, but he came out there. Povetkin was eating them, and then Hunter, I mean, you can still say he won the fight, but why he stopped with what he was doing in the first round, I don't know. But one thing we can do is out of these names, we can go ahead and just X some fights out, and then we can get the real likelihood. So we know Mike Tyson's not gonna happen. Luis Ortiz probably won't happen again.
I mean, it could happen. Oh, you know what? That's what I forgot to bring up, man. What you think about that Brandon Marshall shit, man?
Come again. You said I didn't hear you.
You know the Brandon Marshall, the football player?
Football player, yeah. Okay, I was thought you were talking about a boxer. Yeah, football player used to play for the Broncos, yeah.
Yeah, man. He talking about he'll knock Wilder out, and you got a lot of people in the conversation saying
I see it right here.
Yeah, Wilder won't take the fight. He's too dangerous and all this shit. He calling Wilder around like every interview he get a chance. I feel like that's a good comeback fight for Wilder.
Oh yeah, that's a great comeback fight. It's always dudes like that. Let me go down the list. Nate Robinson. We already know what happened to him. Jake Paul's about to be like that very soon because he's about to experience the full boxing experience very, very, very soon. Because now he's trying to branch out and fight real fighters. So very soon, Jake Paul gonna go back on one of them. He gonna become a meme very soon. Logan Paul, all these dudes who walk into boxing and they think, oh, that's easy. Brandon Marshall, I'll outclass and outbox Deontay Wilder. It's so easy to say that. But trust and believe, if Brandon Marshall gets under those lights.
He's strong as hell, though, man.
Huh?
He's strong as shit, though, man. And, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, that don't mean a thing, though, to be strong. You haven't boxed before.
No, see, the thing about Deontay Wilder is the best boxer, though. You feel me? Like, it'll be a different story if Deontay Wilder, like, Anthony Joshua or Tyson Fury. Deontay Wilder can't really box like that. But I do feel like you gotta have some type of boxing ability to beat Deontay Wilder. I do feel that. I mean, Deontay Wilder, he's not a good boxer. I would say, but I would definitely say he's the best street fighter I ever seen with a pair of gloves on. You can say that.
Well, I'm gonna say this though, best street fighter, yeah, but. All I'm gonna say is this, and break it down, man. If you think you about to come from being a football player, you just about to waltz into boxing and beat Deontay Wilder.
No, but from what I'm hearing, and yes, it's just sources and rumors, but there's credible sources. I heard Brandon Marshall used to box, man. Like he ain't just no guy. He's not like just a guy that just said like Nate Robinson or shit like that. I don't think so. I think Nate Robinson.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Brandon Marshall even said himself like he grew up boxing. Yeah, he don't have it's not on paper, but I know a lot of people like that. Even me myself. I used to box, but I never boxed for no fucking organization or no shit like that. So. I mean,
Well, I mean, Brandon Marshall can say he used box, but if you think you're gonna come in there without no pro experience and take shots from Deontay Wilder, he should do that because all it's gonna take is he gonna be able to go through. He is a football player, but he's out of the league. He's retired right now. Is he really gonna be able to go through the conditioning again Is he really been keeping up on his workouts and everything? But if you think you're gonna go in there and you're just gonna eat a right hand from Wilder,
Hell no.
okay, your first pro fight and you gonna eat a right and you gonna think you're gonna take shots from Wilder? Wilder will knock Brandon Marshall out first round.
Huh? I think I got to start with Brandon Marshall too, man.
First round.
No, I ain't gonna say first round.
First round.
Because now Deontay Wilder, I feel like Deontay Wilder, if he really wants to, it depends. Like Deontay Wilder might be a different fighter now. I don't think he gonna. I don't know, man. But I gotta see Deontay Wilder fight, man.
Yeah.
We gotta see that boy. We gotta see what the bronze spot, what's going on with this dude, man. Because at the end of the day, I feel like Deontay Wilder, like, though the type of loss he took to Tyson Fury can be career-ending, devastating, especially like with somebody with the super confidence like Wilder, and for his confidence could have been shattered. We don't know until we see that boy in the ring.
Right, but I also want to point this out. We talk about all these people, right? But we haven't seen Brandon Marshall box before or fight before, but we have seen Deontay Wilder fight before. Okay, what we do know about Brandon Marshall is he's a football player, and he might have some boxing experience from his later days, but he's a football player with no pro experience who has not gone through a 12-round fight under the lights. We know Deontay Wilder, decorated knockout artist, former heavyweight champ, guy who's been in there under the lights. If you think Marshall gonna come in there and just compete with Wilder, he's gonna eat one of them right hands. It's gonna be over. It's only gonna take one. Only one. It's only gonna take one, and he's gonna realize what he's done. He's gonna realize he made a big mistake. One, you talking about these are guys? Okay, you think? Look at what happened with Brazil.
Right.
It's only gonna take one of those for Brandon Marshall. I bet you Brazil has a better chin than Brandon Marshall. If I had to really bet on it, it's only gonna take one of them, and it's over.
Yeah, Brazil got a solid chin, man. He didn't get stopped by
right. Brazil got baptized. Like it's almost something that that guy on Instagram you were telling me about who posted them fight videos.
Yeah.
Like that. Like Brazil got just destroyed, and you think you're gonna come in there from being a pro football player and just take one of those? Nah, it's over. He's gonna get destroyed. I mean,
I feel like if that fight gonna happen, it need to happen right now because I don't want Wilder to take a tune-up and then fight him. Like I feel like he could be the tune-up. He could be a little comeback fight for Wilder. I still watch this. I still want to see. It's entertaining to see somebody go to sleep, regardless of what we feel about Wilder. It's always entertaining to see somebody go to sleep.
Yep.
Any more opponent that Deontay Wilder could possibly fight?
That was really all of them. We had White, Dillian White, Povetkin, Maurice Jr. And what else we have? We had and then the Kyle Bell guy, the Kyle Bell guy.
Caballero?
Yeah. Caballero, yeah. And that was a fight that they had on there. I think he wins basically all of them though. So he needs to fight. He needs to fight a solid opponent, and he needs to hurry up and get in there now, bro. He can't just wait and go silent like this. He needs to start posting on Instagram on a regular, and really advertising his fights. Really staying active because he's gonna fade away, and we ain't gonna hear nothing from him. That's my biggest fear. And it's gonna be years now. And be like, hey, what happened to Wilder? So.
Dawson said Crawford, but he's not on you got any more thoughts on it?
Nah, man, nah.
We did that. I put that one out for that real car. We went in. We took a microphone, man. You know, a lot of excitement to our eyes, man.
Yeah.
So it's like, but we had to go on a while for a minute, though.
Yeah, it's fine.
Hey, that's hey, man, shit. I gotta start putting females in my video. So that's what I'm. But yeah, so we got one more topic, you think?
I think so. What is it?
It ain't getting in my head yet. Um, we could talk about Tank Davis next fight.
Right, and we can talk about yeah. I want to say this for the viewers. He has broken his hand. Tank Davis broke his hand yesterday in sparring. Um,
Repeat that. Repeat that again for my viewers.
Tank Davis. This is inside sources too. I'm like, it's not even main news yet, bro. But Tank Davis. Like, and before I say this I always say every time we do a call. You need to tune into our videos, man, because it's stuff that I've said before. 7 months before Dillian White signed with, Jarrell Miller signed with Top Rank. I announced it way before it was official. So if you want to get the scoop, please tune in to Love One Channel on my channel. But Gervonta Davis did break his hand yesterday in sparring, and that's big news.
Yeah, this is the underrated time. This is before I talk about that. I want to say what you just said is that like our channel is really underrated, man. We go hard and we come up with stuff that be happening sometimes months and years. You said months, sometimes years
Right.
before the shit. You gotta really tune in, man. But I was gonna say this, man. Okay, so with that happening, does that mean that we gotta go easy on his next opponent, or do we still put him in there with these young hungry lions out there? Even a Ryan Garcia, even though he's not a lion, I don't consider you a lion no more, Ryan. Yeah, you be lying, but you're not a lion, though. So.
Well, yeah, and also there were also talks that he lost in sparring to a young prospect. I forgot his name. They said he got beat up in sparring. They said it was a slugfest. They went back and forth. But yeah, considering the hand injury, now we have to kind of just wait until he gets fully healed and everything. But who does he fight with the hand injury? Until he gets it healed and everything, I guess we won't be seeing anything from him. But I mean, next fight after everything's healed and everything, we need to see either Ryan Garcia or maybe a Devin Haney, somebody. We need to get I'm tired of seeing these little guys that just pull out from nowhere. We need to start seeing some big fights soon. Ryan Garcia already ducked it. He already ducked the fight, so
he claimed he's still gonna fight him, but talk is cheap.
Right. But he had an opportunity. The fight was. You remember what Mike Tyson did on his podcast, Hot Boxing. Hot Boxing. Right. He put the fight together. He made the fight. He put Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia on the FaceTime call. He talked about the fight. He said, "Yo, let's get it done," and they agreed to it. That fight has so many views, bro. I mean, that video has so many views on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, everything. People who don't even watch, polls on Instagram. Who you think gonna win? Who you think gonna win? And then Ryan Garcia announces a Pacquiao fight, and you don't just announce a Pacquiao fight. That means Ryan Garcia knew that Ryan Garcia was negotiating a Pacquiao fight, and I guess he knew he wasn't gonna fight Tank when he was talking to Tank about on the hot boxing thing. He knew he wasn't gonna fight Tank because he knew he had that Pacquiao fight. So he had been negotiating the Pacquiao fight while he was talking about that Tank stuff. So basically, the Tank, that was just a perfect time to make it. And then he goes and announces a Pacquiao fight. That right there is suspicious, man. I don't know what you had to say about it. What do you have to say about it, man?
Well, we kind of started going off the topic. What are we talking about? We talking about Ryan Garcia shit?
Yeah, I told him about him, Gervonta Davis breaking his hand. You said, who do you want Gervonta Davis to fight?
We're talking about Ryan Garcia. The hand injury, man. I don't know how serious it is because you said, from what you're telling me, it's a rumor, right?
Well, not a rumor. It happened. So I mean, it's not like did it happen? Did it? No, it happened. So.
But do we know the severity other injury. Though. That's what we know.
Well, from two sources, one saying, they just said suffered a hand injury, and one said he broke his hand. So what we do know is it is a hand injury. But we don't want to. Some people I've heard that he's broken his hand, but we do know he did injure
it. Okay. Well, that's not really no good though. But I mean, if he did injure his hand, well, we might not see the dude fight for a minute then.
Right, and also this one right here says, Gervonta Davis suffers injury in sparring. 2021 return still in the air. So.
Oh no! See, that right there.
Yeah, they're gonna drag this thing. Oh, and he also posted on Twitter too.
Yeah, and then see, then he gonna come back. Then he gonna face a light opponent.
Yep. And then gonna drag it out 2023, 2024. Ryan Garcia gonna fight him.
Yeah, that fight, like you said, like 25, probably 2025 shit. But like this, I hate when injuries happen, man, because injury causes postponements.
Right.
What I is time off the ring, man. They got a reason to face these lower level opposition.
Yep.
A good comeback fight. So let's just talk about a comeback fight for Tank. I guess we have to say, to get in there with at least a solid opponent, like somebody that was an ex-former champion or something like that. Okay, Linares, you get there with him. Get there with, go ahead and stop one of these little lower attacks like you always do,
Yeah, he ain't. With Floyd, no, they gonna put him in there with somebody we don't know. They ain't gonna put him in nobody. He ain't coming back to fight no Ryan. He won't even fight Ryan. They won't even make big fights. I mean, he's healthy, so when he come back, he probably gonna fight maybe man.
We can't even name the opponent he gonna fight.
Yeah.
There's gonna be some unknown opponent.
Yeah.
Floyd good at that.
He's the master of making fights like that.
Hype it up. It might be even be somebody. This what Floyd gonna do. It's gonna be a bum that's undefeated.
Yep.
That's what Floyd. Go in there with a bum that's undefeated, and they gonna call the car. Somebody owes Gossico, and and they gonna hype old boy up to make it seem like he got a chance to get taken, all this shit, man. We know how the game goes.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts on that part. On Tank Davis next fight. I didn't mean to go on like that, Tank, but it is what it is, man. We know what time it is. Yeah. Oh, let's do this. Oh. It could be the last one too. Ryan Garcia versus Manny Pacquiao prediction, boy.
Facts, man.
Now, okay, and I'm gonna ask it in two ways. If it's an exposition match, because they talking about it may be an exposition match. Listen, Ryan Garcia. Let me say this real quick. Ryan Garcia, if you are listening to this video, I don't give a flying fuck about you getting your ass in an exposition match or an actual boxing match. In my book, you still lost, okay? You're not gonna get knocked out this whole, I can get knocked out by Manny Pacquiao and still be undefeated. No, that ain't gonna work in my book. You got your ass beat by Manny Pacquiao. You have to live with that, and I don't care about none of that. So with that being said, I'm just gonna start the video off like that. Okay, if it's an exposition matchup, so be it. I mean, we can say whatever we want to say about it. We still gonna watch the shit. Unless it's I hope it just ain't no bullshit where you can't knock the guy out or some shit like that. Then I'm gonna lose respect for Ryan Garcia completely if you do that. I mean, as a whole. And but if it's a real fight, though, that's what I want to ask you. The extra fight who you got, if it's a real fight, which I feel very interesting, and it will forgive the Tate situation. Oh yeah, that's what I want to ask you. Would it forgive the Tate situation if it's an actual 12-round boxing match?
Well, I know you might be glad to hear this, Lovon, but it would not be an exhibition. This is a 12-round fight.
Oh shit! No, that I love to hear that.
In the video post on his Instagram, Garcia said his fight with Pacquiao will be a real fight, and they're shooting for 12 rounds. Our records are on the line. That's what he said.
Who said that, Ryan?
Ryan Garcia. So this is not going to be no exhibition where they get in there and they share the ring, no Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr. type stuff. This is going to be a real fight. So, he said their records are on the lines. Now, I probably would shoot for Pacquiao winning this fight, but don't sleep on Ryan Garcia. Don't sleep on Ryan Garcia. I think Ryan Garcia could pull off a win. But what do I see happening? I see Pacquiao winning this fight.
Okay, let me. And what weight class though would the fight be at? That before I make my ultimate prediction, I need to know what weight class is this going to be at.
That's the thing. I've never even thought about that because they can't. Well, what is it, Pacquiao? 147, right?
To bring Ryan Garcia up to 147, I don't give a fuck about that on Pacquiao is old. He can do whatever he want. I'm not giving him a pass on that. You gonna bring the guy all the way 147? At least beat him in the middle and go to 140.
They might have to do a catch weight 140.
Yeah, they can do a catch weight. I can see that. Like that. I can see both guys sacrificing a little bit of weight. That Floyd did it to Canelo. Ain't shit wrong with that. I ain't got no problem with that.
That's actually going to be. I think they'll end up doing it a catch weight because I don't think Pacquiao might not. He probably shouldn't try to get back to a lightweight. So that the catch weight probably what you think 140, 141. They can do it as a catch weight, but I don't think I don't think they they don't fight at lightweight or welterweight.
Yeah.
But I mean, Pacquiao comes in this fight with a huge experience advantage. He comes in this fight with, he's been in there with all kind of people, man. He's been in there with Adrian Broner, Mayweather, Eric Morales, Marquez. I mean, Jeff Horn. Pacquiao has fought a lot of people, man. He has a stacked resume. So,
you ain't never lied about that, boy.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's fought many people.
Get your rocks up. Get your take in.
Yeah, all I'm saying, it's Ryan Garcia. He hasn't really fought. He didn't have a big, vast resume like Pacquiao. So, Pacquiao has the experience. I think Pacquiao has very fast hands. He could overwhelm him with aggressiveness like he did Keith Thurman. But I really would not sleep on Pacquiao at all. I mean, Ryan Garcia, because Ryan Garcia has a height advantage. Ryan Garcia is 5'10", probably 5'11" with shoes on. Pacquiao's 5'5". That could play a big difference. When's the last time Pacquiao's fought somebody? He's always been the smaller guy, I think, in most of his fights. But somebody really that tall, I really don't.
That tall? I didn't even know he was that damn tall.
Oh yeah, Ryan Garcia he's pretty tall for especially for a lightweight. I mean, I'm gonna look it up, get you the official height, because
that's a big ass for a lightweight. That's tall as hell.
Yeah, he 5'10". That's what it's saying right here. Once you put them boots on, them boxing boots, he probably 6 feet.
Like 5'11", damn, that's a tall ass lightweight shit.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna even lie to you, man. I can see Ryan Garcia being Pacquiao though. I ain't picking him to be Pacquiao. I can see him being Pacquiao. I really feel like Ryan Garcia. Listen here, man. I feel like Ryan Garcia got some real freakish power, man.
Yeah.
Like it's the thing about it is Ryan Garcia can hit you with this is where Ryan Garcia is so dangerous now. People have all this shit about Ryan Garcia that they want to win. I feel like in my opinion, I feel like Ryan Garcia, he's embracing the bad guy role. He chose to play the bad guy. It sells. It put ass in the seat, and that's why he got so many followers on IG. Man, got 8 million followers. But what's so special about now? Don't get it twisted. He hasn't fought nobody yet. Luke Campbell. Luke Campbell is somebody. This is my point, man. Ryan Garcia can hit you with like an 8 to 10 punch fast combination, all bombs. You know, that's what is so scary about this dude. Like it's most guys that hit you with 6 jabs and then 2 bombs after the 6 jabs on top of the 6 jabs. Like he'll hit you with an 8 to 10 punch combo and they're all with mean intentions on it. Like, listen here, man. It is possible. I ain't gonna say no 2 rounds now, but I wouldn't be shocked if Ryan Garcia flatlined Tank, man. That's why it got me so pissed off because I was actually giving the boy a chance to go in there and flatline the Tank, you know. But we know that he clearly ducked Tank or whatever momentarily, whatever the hell you want to call it. But I feel like against Manny Pacquiao, I feel like Ryan Garcia. It may be a little bit too early for Manny Pacquiao, but Manny Pacquiao no spring chicken, so you really can't blame him for turning down a Manny Pacquiao fight. Will it forgive the duck and tank part? In my opinion, not really. I mean, I can say yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and say yeah, but it got to be a 12-round fight, like you said. That's the only way I'm forgiving it. And another reason I could slightly forgive it too is because Tank probably would have got injured anyway.
Right, that's what would have happened. Yeah.
Yeah, Tank would probably got injured anyway, had to pause the fight. So it looked like we would have had to. I mean, Manny Pacquiao's a perfect replacement opponent, but I could see Ryan Garcia can't outbox Manny. We just gonna go ahead and throw it out the window. Ryan Garcia is flat-footed, and the reason he is flat-footed, I feel like Ryan Garcia could get on this bicycle if he wanted to, but the reason he is flat-footed is because what I just said. He is throwing hard bombs at your face. You can't be fluffy throwing hard bombs like that. And Ryan Garcia, he is a fighter that goes for the kill. Ryan Garcia is a good body puncher, man. Let me tell you this, man. Luke Campbell been there with punchers. Luke Campbell been there with not a good fighter. The only person to have him screaming on the canvas,
right,
is Ryan Garcia, man. That's a statement, man. And he already, Ryan Garcia, he already showed his adversity now. He got that out the way early. He showed his adversity. He showed us he get off the canvas and knock a guy out. Not only win, knock a guy out. So that's big, man. We ain't going to sleep on Ryan Garcia now.
No, we can't. I mean, one thing I have to say is, Ryan Garcia. I mean, has Pacquiao? He has a lot of experience, but I don't think he's really going against a guy, tall like that. Because this might be his tallest fighter that he's ever faced. If I can really think about this, because who? No, 5'9". Margarito's 5'9", man.
Oh shit, damn.
And I can get you the exact vitals and everything.
I believe.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to verify it myself because I'm really wondering who's his tallest fighter been. Oh, so he's Jesse Vargas, maybe. Jesse Vargas was 5'11". So.
Yeah, but Ryan Garcia is basically 5'11".
Yeah, so
But the boots only 5'11". So.
Yeah. So I mean, he fought. You forgot he fought Oscar De La Hoya too.
Oscar De La Hoya, what, 5'10"?
Yeah, about the same. So all I'm saying is, he go ahead. Yeah, Oscar De La Hoya might even be able to give him some, tips and everything. But has Pacquiao really fought that type of tall fighter with that type of hand speed and that type of power?
Nah, hell no, because Oscar De La Hoya, I feel like his power kind of diminished towards the end of his career. Like all his power was the early part of his career. Kind of like Floyd.
Yeah.
Floyd's power in the beginning of his career. Floyd was known as a knockout puncher in his shit. And then it kind of diminished a little bit. But I feel like Ryan Garcia, man, he can. That's why size plays a big factor in my prediction or whatever. Because I need to know what weight class they fight now? Because if they like, let's say if they fight at 135, I'm going with man. It pains me to say this, man, but I can see Ryan. I can see Ryan stopping him, man. I can see Ryan stopping him, man. But if it's at 140, the table's turned. 147. Old boy's gonna sleep within 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Ryan Garcia, you couldn't get Ryan Garcia up out of there if he's at 147. That's a fact. I can say that's a fact. 140, it's a little toss up, like kind of still favoring Manny though, but it depends on what weight class that for me to get my final position.
Right. But the good thing about it is Pacquiao is used to being the shorter guy and smaller guy in all of his fights, basically. I mean,
but listen, that's a good point, but I got to come back that with something. Yeah, but he's not used to facing somebody with all his power though, man. Ryan Garcia hits extremely hard, Joe. That's what we can't take away from Ryan.
Oh yeah, he has definitely great power. But Pacquiao's been in the ring with a guy with some good crack. He's fought. Shane Mosley.
Yeah, that's true.
Juan Marquez, solid crack.
Got 1 punch. No, he stopped with 1 punch.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you already saw how Marquez went, but we were just one of Marquez fights. But I do still have Pacquiao due to the experience and the fast hands, though. I think he was just overwhelmed. But I don't know, man.
Right. But I think see the thing about Manny Pacquiao, I just feel like you said, unless Pacquiao get old overnight, if Pacquiao rewinds the clock again, like if the same Pacquiao that fought Keith Thurman come in for Ryan Garcia, it's a wrap, right? I'm sorry.
Well, I'm gonna say this though, Pacquiao lost that fight against Keith Thurman.
He didn't lose that fight against no.
You don't want. Nobody wants to talk about that. But if you really score, you should please go back and watch it.
It's a close fight, man. Listen, it's a close fight.
7-5.
He lost 7-5. I had lose 7-5.
Listen, I had 7-5 for Keith Thurman. What you should do is go watch it again, because if you,
I'm gonna watch it again.
Please.
I'm gonna watch it again. But I remember I watched the fight. I watched that fight back with shouts out to Monty Brown TV. I watched the fight back with Monty Brown TV, man. And we said, no, Pacquiao 175, man. And the reason, and it wasn't even the first time. It was the second when he hurt him in that second round. I gave Thurman another 10-8 round. So
yeah, besides that knockout though, and especially if you mute the TV and don't look at the crowd, Pacquiao was taking a lot of shots that fight, man.
Pacquiao was getting top box. He was getting top box by Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman started. I'm telling you, Keith Thurman. Listen, after that first knockdown, Keith Thurman rallied his way back into the fight. And then he started letting Pacquiao come again. Man, I'm gonna watch it again, though.
Please do. Please do, because I mean that's really. I really think he lost that fight, but
I got 2 more minutes before I got to stop it anyway.
Yeah, man. But
You already know, man.
For sure, man. EBTV Sports. We still live. We finished the topic. Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's an hour and 40 minutes. Yeah, we good.
EBTV Sports signing off. Y'all like and subscribe, man.
That shit was fire, man.